Good morning still. Welcome to today's knee-jerk devotional for Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. Mostly daily spiritual insight for the short attention span. Our passage this morning is John 3, 1 through 8. Jesus said, "You're not listening. Let me say it again. Unless a person..." You know what? I need to start at the beginning of that passage, don't I? So, we'll try this again. All right, John chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. There was a man of the Pharisee sect, Nicodemus, a prominent leader among the Jews. Late one night, he visited Jesus and said, "Rabbi, we all know you're a teacher straight from God. No one could do all the God-pointing, God-revealing acts you do if God weren't in on it." Jesus said, "You're absolutely right. Take it from me. Unless a person is born from above, it's not possible to see what I'm pointing to God's kingdom." "How can anyone," said Nicodemus, "be born who has already been born and grown up? You can't re-enter your mother's womb and be born again. What are you saying with this born from above talk?" Jesus said, "You're not listening. Let me say it again. Unless a person submits to this original creation, the wind hovering over the water creation, this invisible moving the visible, a baptism into new life, it's not possible to enter God's kingdom. When you look at a baby, it's just that, a body you can look at and touch. But the person who takes shape within is formed by something you can't see and touch, the Spirit, and becomes a living spirit. So don't be surprised when I tell you that you have to be born from above, out of this world, so to speak. You know well enough how the wind blows this way and that. You hear it rustling through the trees, but you have no idea where it comes from or where it is headed next. That's the way it is with everyone born from above, by the wind of God, the Spirit of God." You see, we live in a world that is all about just that. It's all about what we can see, touch, taste, smell, and hear. If it's not just that, then it isn't real. It doesn't exist. The physical world is all there is and nothing more. At least, that's what we say. But we live as though there is more. I will never forget the first time I heard the heartbeats of my children. In that moment, there was something that came over me. I was left in a state of awe and wonder. In that moment, I began dreaming about what their lives would be like. My dreams were not just that. They were something different. Or the moment I was floating in the Pacific Ocean with my brother Jay and my dad, holding onto boogie boards, watching the sun sink over the horizon. I can still hear the gentle hiss that we all heard, as though the sun was really plunging into the water. In that moment, the sun was not just that. I've had the opportunity to be a part of a number of wedding ceremonies. When the bride begins her procession, I always watch the groom. The look on his face is always spectacular. In that moment, his bride is not just that. We live in existence that is full of mystery and wonder and awe. Old Nicodemus was caught up in the just that. In his mind, religion was concrete, clear-cut, with no room for ambiguity. Jesus throws a wrench in it all by talking about this whole being born from above stuff. Poor Nicodemus is completely confused. How can you be born a second time? And that's a fair question when you live in a just that world. Jesus tries to explain to Nicodemus that we live in a world that is much more than just that. We live in a world imbued with the Spirit. There is more to everything around us than just that. I'm beginning to understand that a big part, if not the central part, of being born again is waking up to the wonderful, beautiful mystery that is the creation of which we are a part. It's not some transaction. It's recognizing in the wind the image of the Spirit. It's the overwhelming realization that there is more to this life than just that. Jesus says later on in John that he came to bring life and life to the full. I think that for us to live this full life, we need to wake up to the wonderful, beautiful mystery that surrounds us. Oh, that we would be born from above to experience the joy of the beautiful mystery of our existence. Let's live today in light of the reality that it's not just that. Hey, until tomorrow.